What's up, guys? Welcome to the next episode. Today we are doing lowering springs. So we've got the wheels taken care of. They look absolutely awesome. So today I've got the car over here at Eurofed, one of the shops that I go to and do a lot of my work here in town. This happens to be the Buckhead location, and today we're going to install the Techart springs. So like any good set of wheels, when you put them on a stock car, especially if you stick with the stock size, which I did, the 20s, you're usually going to need to lower it if you want to get rid of that wheel gap. And we all know that that is the main goal. So today, the Eurofed team's going to be putting on Techart springs. I'm going to take you through the process of that. You know, a lot of people, I think, consider lowering springs. I know there's a lot of debate about which ones. I went with the Techart. They are not quite as aggressive as H&R and some of the other options. They are supposed to ride a little better. So we're going to give that a shot. I am going to street drive this a good bit around town, things like that. And so I wanted to find kind of a blend between lowering and comfort. So we get the Techart springs on, but the guys over at Eurofed have allowed me to kind of hang out in the shop and take you through the whole process. So if you've ever wondered what goes into installing lowering springs, we'll take you through this. My understanding, and we're going to find out based on my own research and thinking about potentially doing this myself, is that the front's piece of cake. That's not really an issue. It's the rears that are supposedly really tough on these 991s. So let's see if that plays out true. Definitely appreciate the guys at Eurofed for taking care of it today, and stay tuned. Always busy over here at Eurofed. We got quite the BMW lineup this morning. Feel a little out of place. Feel like maybe I didn't get the memo. I mean, just super choice. I really like this spec too. Then you got me. Like, dude, where are the rest of the Porsche guys? Just to give you a little perspective here. So again, these wheels, couldn't be more pleased with how these turned out. Really amazing look, especially for the price. But as you can see, definitely dealing with a good bit of gap here. And so again, those Techart springs should take this down. Not quite as aggressive as some others. So really to get like that slammed look, if that's kind of what you're going for, which is a good look to be clear, you may want to consider the H&Rs that are made for this car. From what I understand, they definitely lower the car more. But I'm going to throw the Tecarts on here. You know, look, if it's just not low enough and over time I feel like, you know, needs to change, you know, that's obviously an option. But, you know, again, I'm going to be driving this street use a good bit, you know, not daily, but certainly around town. I live in Atlanta, a good bit of potholes. So my hope is that these Techart springs really bring this car down to, you know, an acceptable amount of wheel gap, height, you know, again, not slam. That tire probably not going to be tucked up under there, but, you know, we at least want to eliminate as much of this as we possibly can. So let's get it done. All right, guys, so step one, obviously, wheels off. So we got left side of the car done. Working on the right side. And then, you know, next step, I'm sure, will be removal of these stock springs. So that's kind of half the battle, obviously. You gotta, you know, disassemble a good bit of what's going on here in the suspension to get those out and put the new ones in. And then I'm sure it's pretty much downhill from there. So getting started here and excited to see this process. Alright guys, so we got both fronts off, so that's a good thing. And next thing is going to be to change our springs out with the front for the Techart. So Obviously having the right tools for the job, this is a great example of that, because you need this tool to get these springs off. So not to say you can't do this and go get this tool and all that, but I can already tell you just into the fronts of this thing, definitely glad I'm having the team at Eurofed take care of this one. All right, so quick update, we got the fronts done and rears are coming along. So let me take you through the progress and where we're at, but getting closer to wrapping up. One thing I do want to check is the rear height. It is adjustable in terms of the like ledge where the rear spring sits. You can change that on these 991s, and so I want to make sure we get the rear fitment as low as we can and as good as we can, but let me take you through where we're at. All right, so front's on, obviously right there. We got the new Techart springs in place. So, you know, not too bad. We're just coming up after lunch here, so making some really quick progress. But excited to obviously get the important piece, which is getting the car dropped and checking out where we're at. So getting close. So for those of you who are curious, the notching I'm talking about is right here. There's a plate the bottom of the spring sits on, and there are some notches in there that allow you to move this plate up and down slightly. And that will allow you to adjust a little bit of the rear height. Right now it's in the lowest setting, so we're gonna give that a shot and see where we're at. All wrapped up and pretty pleased with the results. So, you know, pretty low. I would say, based on all the research I did, everything was pretty accurate. So, two schools of thought. Basically, everyone said, look, if you want slammed, you want literally no wheel gap, you know, tire tucked up under fender, go H&R. If you want ride quality, not quite as slammed, but, you know, very little wheel gap, you know, really get that wheel tucked up in the well properly, go with Techart. So, I would say this is accurate. So for those of you who are on the fence, hopefully this is helpful to kind of see where this car ended up. May settle a tiny bit, call it 1/4 inch or so after the fact. But obviously if you compare this to kind of where it started, much better look, makes these wheels really look nice in terms of a fitment on the car, overall size, even appears larger. So really pleased with the Techart kit. Definitely recommend it for those of you guys who are considering lowering and want something that is definitely lower, but also are concerned a little bit maybe about ride quality or, you know, those kinds of things. Don't just, you know, want the completely slammed look. If you do, go get some H&Rs. I think that's probably your ticket. All right, guys, so that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed this one. Taking you along for the ride. Big shout out to the guys over at Eurofed for letting me film everything on the build. This is what I understand to be closer to like a day project. Got it done half a day. So super impressive. The rear on this is very complicated. Lived up to its reputation once I kind of saw what went into that. So thanks again to them for letting me bring this to the channel so that you guys could see this. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of the differences between kind of lowering kits. There's several on the market, but you know, the Techart kit I'm pretty pleased with. Definitely gives it a lowered look. Looks about right to me in terms of ride height. And you know, I do drive this in the city. I live in Atlanta. There's potholes, there's all kinds of craziness. So the ride quality that I'm supposed to get by going this route versus some of the other ones that are maybe a little more of that slammed look is supposed to be the big benefit in going Techart. So I will, you know, probably post in the comments or provide any questions later on, you know, call it 6 months down the road. If you guys are curious kind of how the ride quality is and how these settle out, see if they get any lower, they may go 1/4 inch or so lower as well. So again, thanks for tuning in. We've got more of the build series coming. So aero kit's getting installed later this week. Exhaust will be next, DSE controller from a handling perspective. So lots more to tune in for. Please hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content, if you like what you see on the channel. That way you can follow along and get notices, and of course like this video. So thanks again, and stay tuned for the next episode.